All right, welcome to another episode 7, in fact, of Coffee and Code. Today we'll be looking at arrays. So go ahead and do the usual, create a class. Make sure you're using IntelliJ so you can follow along exactly as I'm doing, and we'll get started. So I've already declared my main function, as usual, and we'll go ahead and initialize an array. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at initializing an array of integers. So first, what we're going to do is we're just going to write int. So that's just to declare that whatever we're going to declare here, the variable is going to be an integer or integers in this case, and then we'll pass in the square brackets. So that's just to say that, hey, Java, I'm going to be using an array. And then we'll give the name of that variable. So in this case, numbers. And then in those things that I like to call curly braces, we'll go ahead and put in our numbers. So for example, 1 and then a comma and then 2 and a comma and then 6 and so on and so forth. You can see it on the screen anyway. Um, and then now that we've done that, we have created our first array. You're thinking like, what is the point in us actually doing this? So let's quickly have a look and see how we can actually use this in particular. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how we can loop through this and then print it out into the console. So each and every single one, we want to look at that. All right, but first we're going to discuss how you access a particular element in the array. So how does it start? Right, so in this case, an array will start from an index of 0 to the first element in the array. So here 1, the index of that, so its position is going to be 0. So we're going to do quickly system.out.println, and we're just going to say that the first element of this array and then print that out. So if you wanted to access the first element, you give the name of the array, right? So in this case, it's numbers that we've declared. And in those square brackets that you can see that I'm typing now, we can just put 0, and that will give us the first element of the array. And as you can see in the console, we've got our first element in the array, and that prints out the number 1. So we officially accessed number 1. So that's probably one of the most important things. So 1, you can access individual elements inside of an array, but what we'll also look at is how we can iterate through an array. So what the hell is like iterating through an array, right? You can use loops to go through each individual element, and you can mutate that, or in this example, we'll just print it. So we're going to use a simple for loop, right? So how we do that, we'll type the keyword for, as you can see on the screen. Then we'll say that we want to declare the variable that we'll be using. So int here, and then we'll type in num, and type the colon, and then numbers, which is our array, and then open those curly brackets, and then inside of there, we'll do system.out.println, and then we'll say number, give it a colon in a string, and then we'll use a plus sign to concatenate. Remember, you can concatenate, string to a string and number to a string, for example. And then we'll do just num. So num is the first variable that we've given, right? So that's for each element, basically. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and run and build this. And you can see in the console now, it's printed out every single number. It's gone through the entire list and got number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, for example, right? And you can see all the way up to that number 33, which is our last element in the array. So you can already see how powerful arrays are and how easy it is just to do these kind of basic things. To get practicing, try and use arrays a lot more, try and use loops and everything that we've learned so far, and it will go a long way, particularly when you're working on your own projects. But thanks for tuning in, and tune in for the next one.